Put some anhydrous today. Basically comes out of the tank, goes through the hoses. I'll show you how to hook it up in a minute. Put it on a new tank here. Anyway, it goes to those hoses, up to the orange hoses, goes into that big header up there. Eventually comes out these hoses into this shank, which comes out down here, right there. It's basically those blades right there open the ground up. Let this blade go through earlier, easier. This blade opens the ground. The anhydrous comes out right here, and then these guys, the curved ones there, come together and basically throw the dirt back over. So you kind of see I've already done this pass here. You see where the dirt's darker there. I've already turned over the dirt, so I've already done this pass. And here's what the shank looks like without everything without being dirty. So these are brakes sometimes, so they give you extra ones. So you got extra shanks here, and that's where the hose clamps on. Then it goes down here. You can see a little better on this open one. It's not hooked up, not covered in dirt. But these are shear bolts that'll just snap off if they hit something too hard. Ooh, a little onion. Or you can just place a shear bolt, or the actual shank breaks, they give you spare shanks. You got some on this side and some on that side, and I got the bolts up in the cab. One great thing about engineers, and I talk a lot of crap about engineers, I work with a bunch of engineers, but whoever invented this thing, genius. I'll show you how it works here in a second. To get this hooked up. Oh, it's not gonna work. It's not easy to do one-handed. Use my knee there. Hold on, I gotta set you down for a second. Pause. I'm gonna try this again. Not easy to do one-handed, but there. Ah. Oh my goodness. What I was trying to show you is, you hit this bar, this lever, and that little piston right there comes up, comes out of that hole, and allows this whole tongue to swivel and extend. That way, when you're sitting way up there in the cab, you don't got to back this thing up perfectly to get the hitch pin in. You just get close, and then you can wiggle it, and you release that, and then you can wiggle it side to side, and it pulls. You can see the wear mark here. This is where it normally rides. So now when I get in the tractor, I'll back up, and that'll shove this back in there, and it'll latch, and then I just go. That's how that works. It's very difficult to show you one-handed. You gotta put the camera down to do it. All right, get this hose. So this is our fresh full tank of anhydrous. Take off the little dust cap here. It's also going to be difficult to do one-handed. That connects on there. Check it, that's screwed on there. Then this is a vent. You want to make sure the vent's closed. All right, now I'll put on my gloves, because I'm actually going to be working with the actual anhydrous. And the reason this is a safety concern with the gloves on is because it can be very cold when it escapes first thing. So crack open the tank valve. That's open. Double check my vent is closed. Crack open the hose line. There we go. So now this tank is pressurized all the way through the one hose. It'll go to half of the middle and then this whole left boom. So I'll go do the other side real quick. So now I got both sides hooked up. Both these valves are open. Both these valves are open. The vents are obviously closed. And both hoses are pressurized. The vent line is here because whenever you unhook, I should have showed you this, but I didn't think about it. When you unhook, you close this valve, and you close this valve, and then now the little section of pipe between the two valves is pressurized with that anhydrous. And the stuff, it smells really bad and it displaces oxygen. So if it gets in your lungs, it could burn because it's very cold and lack of oxygen, obviously. So give you this little vent here to vent off the section of pipe in between. So that way when you unscrew this, you're not just blasting yourself with that anhydrous ammonia. And obviously, you want to make sure the back closed before you pressurize the whole thing, because otherwise you're just going to blast yourself. So this is what we're using here. Anhydrous ammonia, NH3. It's got what plants crave. Well, corn at least. And if you get that joke, we could be friends. So I'll get back in the cab and get to going again. That's a wheat field that's obviously not getting it. I'm about 3/4 done with this. I just got that last little bit hill left over there. And then that whole field was done already with the last tank. So this worked out perfect. I get a fresh tank, polish off this field last little bit, and then I'll switch fields. And I'll have a brand new tank to start with. So that's what we're doing today. And here's kind of a broad view of the whole thing. Obviously this is unfolded whenever I use it, but I folded it up just because it's easier to get it hooked up to the tank with it folded up than unfolded. So, and then easy way for me to tell if I'm out is whenever I got this valve open, there's a switch in the cab, opens that valve, it'll pressurize that gauge, and that's how I know I'm getting fluid up to the unit, because it comes up through there. So as long as I got pressure there, means I know I got pressure in the tank. So, and I got a flow gauge in the cab I can show you too. We'll go do that here in a second. So let's see if it'll focus. This rate right here, whenever I'm actually putting anything on, that'll be reading the number. And then this tells me how much I've done. So I kind of keep track of, I know each tank's supposed to do 55 to 60 acres. And when this goes away, I know I'm empty. So I know how much to start with. So that's what we're doing today. A gorgeous day here in Southern Illinois. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching.